Books. Here we have 5 books that cost me probably less than $60, but over the past few years have made me well over 6 figures. And in this video, I want to share with you what these books are and also why these books are must reads if you're trying to build wealth for yourself, especially at a young age, and most importantly, make a very drastic inner transformation. Now, these books that I'm about to share with you are not the classical Rich Dad Poor Dad, the 4-hour work week. These books are more idiosyncratic. You won't really see these books being recommended by success gurus and money gurus, because quite frankly, a lot of these books do not have much to do with wealth directly. Yet oftentimes the topics that are covered have way more impact on your wealth and your success as an entrepreneur in life that a lot of finance or entrepreneurial books can have in them. So I'm super excited for this video. We've got a bit of a different setup, and without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, the first book is called Deep Work by Cal Newport. In the society that we live in today, in the very noisy society that we live in today with a lot of distractions, we're constantly being bombarded with information. There's information overload. And not only that, but most of us are addicted to instant rewards. Deep Work talks about the increasing importance and the increasing value of being able to sit down and perform high impact tasks in a state of free distractions. And the reason why that is because most people nowadays cannot focus. They cannot sit down and do the work. They're constantly being distracted by their phone, by social media, by YouTube, whatever it is, right? And so in today's society, where most people are distracted, the people that actually thrive are the people that are able to put in the work, that are able to get into a deep workflow state and actually move the needle forward. For example, I want you to imagine 2 entrepreneurs. One of those entrepreneurs wakes up at 7 a.m. They go ahead and first thing they do is they check their email. They check their social media, right? Then they get up. They're not in a high state of performance, and they go ahead and they make themselves a coffee. They again go ahead and check out their news. Then by 9 a.m. they sit at their desk, and the only thing they do until 12 p.m. is check their email and do a bunch of menial tasks. By the time 12 p.m. rolls around, they go ahead, they have lunch, and then from 2 to 5 p.m. they're putting out fires in their business. This person needs him to see this other person needs to speak to him, and by the time his workday is finished at 6 p.m., he's accomplished maybe 1 hour of deep work, right? That is one scenario. Now, the other scenario is we've got another entrepreneur who wakes up at 5:30, 6 a.m., right? Then straight out the bat, he gets right into his morning routine. He puts himself in a state of high performance. 8 a.m. rolls around and he's at his desk doing deep work. I'm talking about working on big projects that require his full focus. He hasn't checked his phone. He's not checking email. He's not talking to people. He's just putting in the work, putting time into high revenue producing activities that are going to move the needle forward. And from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., he's just doing that 4 hours of deep focus work. By the time 12 p.m. rolls around, he goes ahead and he does a high intensity workout for an hour. Then he eats a healthy lunch. And at 2 p.m., he's back at his desk for another 2 hours of deep focus work, right? 4 p.m. rolls around, he deals with the fires, the chaos of the afternoon, different people needing time from him. But by the time he finishes his workday at 6 p.m., same time as the other scenario, he's put in 6 hours of deep focus work. And that is why technically they have the same hours, right? Technically, it seems like they're working the exact amount of hours, right? But one person is doing deep focus work, things that are going to move the needle forward. He's creating systems that are going to allow him to remove himself from the equation, systems that can be scaled. Whereas the other entrepreneur, he's just keeping himself busy, just doing a bunch of menial tasks. You can probably tell what entrepreneur is going to be thriving in 5 years. The second entrepreneur is just going to run circles past the first entrepreneur. And that all comes down to deep work, being able to get into a state of flow. So that is the first book. The next book is Essentialism, and it's not this book. This is Tribal Leadership, also a good book. But what I love to do when I have friends over at my place is they go ahead and they check out my library, and I recommend them a book. They take it home, and I've actually loaned out Essentialism. Is one of my favorite books. So I've actually got my physical copy of Essentialism loaned out to one of my good friends. But the book Essentialism is a must read, and it comes down to the pursuit of less. It comes down to saying no to more things. Now, I've seen this in my personal life even, and it's always a trap that you get into, and that is when you start getting more opportunities thrown at you, it is so tempting to say yes, right? It is so tempting to say, yes, I can do that, right? Yes, I'm going to do that. It is so tempting to put a lot of things on your plate that quite frankly, you just don't have time to chew, right? And so you have a lot of things on your plate, but you're not really, you're diversifying your focus, you're diverting your energy, and so you're not going deep into neither one of those, right? And really the key to mastery is putting a lot of focus, energy, and attention on one single thing, going deep into one single thing, and then obsessing over that one single thing, right? And so when you're getting a lot of opportunities thrown at you, the easiest thing to do is say yes, right? The hardest thing to do is being able to say no and being able to maintain your focus on just a few plates and make those plates spin way faster, right? And so I've seen that with my life, and especially this year, I'm making it more of a mission to say no to things so I can focus on the things that are really going to move me up in life. A lot of times I've said yes to things that don't actually fuel my passion, right? Maybe the financial gain is there, but at this point in my life, when I'm making, 52K a month with my agency, at this point, I'm not really doing things for the money, right? Because the money is great. It's allowed me to take care of my family, myself. I take care of my team members, put food on their family's table, and that is absolutely amazing. But now I'm thinking, how can I maximize my impact? So a lot of the stuff that I've said yes to in the past hasn't really been high impact for me, hasn't really been passion driven. So that is the first thing that I want you to keep in mind, but making it a bit more relatable if you're not at that point in your entrepreneurial business, personal life, where you're getting a lot of opportunities thrown at you. The principle of essentialism is also incredibly vital because a lot of the people that are starting out in business, what happens to them is they see social media marketing agency, right? And they go ahead and they try that. But all of a sudden, they see trading and they see GameStop or whatever it is, right? But then all of a sudden they see Bitcoin, right? And now they want to become a Bitcoin day trader. Or now they see dropshipping and they want to become a dropshipper, right? And so they have shiny object syndrome and they're constantly chasing the next thing. What is the next thing that could make me successful or make me money? Whereas if you actually invest a bit of energy into deciding what the best business model is, right? What the best financial vehicle is, which without a doubt is social media marketing agency. But if you guys are watching this channel, you probably already know that, right? But if you invest a bunch of energy at the start to make that decision, once you pick it, go hard with it, right? Just focus on that one single thing. Cut out everything that is not absolutely essential to that one pursuit, right? And that's how you get successful with one business model. The way to be successful as a beginner online entrepreneur is literally just focusing on one single thing, listening to the right people that have actually walked the talk, have been through the journey, and just cutting all distractions. You don't need to be following 10 different entrepreneurs, one dropshipper, one social media marketer, one Bitcoin trader. You don't need to be doing that, right? It's only going to lead you to overthink things. It's only going to lead you to have this shiny object syndrome. So my recommendation to you is understand that you have to focus on one single thing, cut out everything else, and really embrace the pursuit of less. Say no to everything else that is not essential to the one task that is growing your agency or growing whatever business you are growing. So that is the second great book, Essentialism, and now onto the third one. But before we get into this third book and I show you what book it is, if you are enjoying this video and you haven't made that gray looking ugly like button turn blue, you probably know what to do. I'd really appreciate if you dropped a massive thumbs up. Helps out a ton with the algorithm, the whole channel, keeps me creating these videos for you guys. And with that being said, let's get into the third book, which is the Ultramined Solution. Most people in the world do not understand the connection between your body and your mind. They don't understand that your gut, which is right here, right? Your gut actually has a massive impact on your mind. It is literally your second brain, and what you eat, what you put inside your body dictates how this second brain is operating. Now, if you're looking to make a drastic inner transformation, right? Move up in life, build a successful business, you're gonna have to be in a state of high performance because most people are not, right? And so if you wanna get an edge over other people, if you wanna have more focus, more stamina, if you wanna be less foggy and sharper than most people, you need to understand that what you eat has a massive effect on the way you feel, your thoughts, your actions, your mood, right? And if everything's out of balance, it's out of whack, then you're not gonna be able to perform at a high state. In fact, at this point, it's become very easy for me to not really identify with my emotions and instead think logically about them, right? And ask myself, okay, why am I feeling depressed or anxious? Why am I feeling not motivated, right? And in the vast majority of cases, I'm talking 99%, I can always trace it back to the food I've eaten, right? How much sleep I've gotten, have I meditated, right? So all the internal inner game things that we do, whether it's meditating, whether it's eating the right foods, whether it's optimizing your sleep, that has a massive bleed through into your performance as a business person, as a person that wants to be in a high state of performance. So that is that for the third book, the Ultramined Solution. This book will teach you what foods to stay away from, what foods to eat, and overall just a great book. You can see the amount of notes that I've taken. So that is the third book. So those first three books were all about mastering the inner, mastering ourselves to then show up as a better version of ourselves in business, right? The next two books are more about the hacks, the tactics, the finance side of things, okay? And the fourth book is the Millionaire Fast Lane. Now, this says unscripted. It is not the Millionaire Fast Lane. This is actually the sequel. This is actually the second book that this guy, MJ DeMarco, wrote. It's also a great read, but I'm actually, again, loaning out the Millionaire Fast Lane to one of my good friends. Great book. I absolutely loved it. And it's one of those books that I wish I'd read sooner. It's one of those books that if I'd read sooner, I would have made a lot less mistakes. And so it's honestly an amazing book. And it talks about what it actually takes to build real wealth. Also, the importance of building a business that can be scaled to create wealth, right? Versus investments that actually amplify your wealth versus a 9-to-5 job where it's actually almost impossible to build true wealth simply because you are in the wrong financial vehicle. You're using the wrong equation of money. So a lot of important concepts when it comes to finance, a really good introduction to what it takes to build real wealth. And that is the fourth book that you want to make sure you read in 2021. And the final book, the fifth book, is How to Get Rich. Definitely a really good title for a book, a really eye-catching title. And I remember reading this on the tube, on the metro, on the way to my uni. In fact, I always write here the date that I finished the book. So October 31st, 2018. And here's my name, because what I want to do is I want to, if I loan this book out, I want people, when they read it, I want people to go ahead, put in the date that they finished the book, and then their name. It's just a cool way of keeping track and seeing, the people that this book has impacted. But this is a really fun read from someone who actually amassed 700 million US dollars. Now, for me, that is very important, because one of the things that I do when I read a book is I probably do more research on the author than the actual book, because I really don't like reading stuff written by people that haven't actually walked the talk and haven't actually done what they preach, right? And what I love about this book is that this guy is very blunt, and it's a very raw take on what it actually takes to be successful. And so, for example, he talks about the power of focus. We talked about that extensively just now, but the power of focus, it talks about the importance of ownership of your business. That is massive. It also talks about luck. Then there's a chapter on how to stay rich, which is very, very blunt as well, very raw. And a lot of these strategies are just honestly life lessons more than business lessons. So great book, really recommend. And those are the 5 books that are must reads if you're trying to build true wealth in 2021. And as you can see, it's not just about the tactics or the hacks or the strategies. It's also about making sure that your inner game is on point, so you can show up in your business sharp, focused, with a very clear idea of what is essential and what is not. So you're 10 steps ahead of your competition. Now, I really hope you enjoyed this book recommendations. If you did, I'd really appreciate it if you dropped a massive thumbs up. Also, if you have a book that has had a tremendous impact on your life, go ahead and leave it down in the comment section and I will check it out. If you haven't subbed to my channel, there's so much content coming out on entrepreneurship, digital marketing, social media marketing agency, and a bunch of other really cool topics. So if you don't want to miss any of that, go ahead and sub to my channel, hit the little bell icon so you never miss an update. And the very final thing is, if you haven't joined my free Facebook mastermind, it's an incredible community full of like-minded people looking to scale their agency, level up in life, build true wealth. So if you want to join that, go ahead and check out the link in the description, go ahead and apply. And if you're a good fit, we will let you in. And as always, hope everything is going well in your journey, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.